Well, 11.34 for the HF race, 121 miles an hour, that's certainly in third place there, 11.96 at 111 miles an hour. We move up a couple of classes now to Pro Stock, Graham Darton in over in the Racer Lane PS19, and a very long burn out there for Kerry Visit. Part of the Len Paget team. Well, Kerry Visit from Southampton, where she is a service engineer, 22 years of age, and the machine is called Barney Blue. Why it's called Barney Blue? That's quite an unusual name. That one I can't help you with now. But Kerry ran down into the fence earlier on, looking to improve further, and maybe get out into the ninth, really holding the ball there, minutes there. And I think she's going to be pleased with it. She's into the 9, well done to her. 9.41, 140 miles an hour for Kerry Visiting, improving with every run.
That's superb, and that's a huge leap away from the line there for Graham Dunn. Previously had a time of 9.02, 9.93 that time around, 137 miles per hour.
And let's just remind very quickly of our Pro Stock field. Wayne Saunders, number 1, Len Paget, number 2, Graham Dunn, number 3, Kerry Visiting, number 4, John Morton, 5, and Mark Bishop with the two-stroke and bring up the rear of the field at the moment, 10.56. So Pro Stock still plenty of action to come. All our bikes down there ready to put in more qualifying classes.
Well, it's the next man trying to get the machine started underneath the control tower in the lane next to the main grandstand is Martin Bishop, who we just noticed comes down from Kent. Actually in Kent, where he's a builder, but certainly seems to have some problems with the Kawasaki at the moment, the H2 750. And a lot of concerned eyes and hands on that machine at the moment. It's John Morton in the lane furthest from the main grandstand. That really is a lovely looking piece of equipment, isn't it, that? So that's sponsored by TNT. It's called the TNT Express, based on a Suzuki FJ1100 Katana, and the constructor was Richard and Steve of Wingnut Racing. So there you go. Engine has been made up. 3027 Suzuki engine by NCK.
Well, Martin Bishop has problems there, so Len Paget taking his place on the white lightning bike. And Len has it at the moment, number 2, just behind his protege, Wayne Saunders. And you can hear these new sputter boxes that they're using on the ignition system. They literally hold the throttle wide open, and it drops in its little cylinder, so they just don't over-rev the engine, but it does make a very strange sound on the start line. So this really is state-of-the-art engineering in Pro Stock bike at the moment.
Well, it's I don't know if we've got some problems over there with John Morton. Again, we've got 1 or 2 people carrying down. It's getting a bit late in the day, getting a bit cold. John Morton, of course, used to be Rob Pallen's crewman, and that's how I first met John Morton.
Well, obviously Len getting a little bit worried there, that tyre cooling down. There's not a lot of traction out there, but he's going on his own. There he is on the steering it very hard, just back down to the outside white line. Looking to improve his qualifying time, 8.86 he's got to beat. He does that, he goes to number 1 spot, Len Paget, 8.71. One of his quickest terminal speeds ever though, 151 miles an hour for Len Paget.
Well, fearless Len Paget we call him, because he really does hang on in there, and John Morton realising the problems are insurmountable, so he also being wheeled back behind the start line. But you were telling me a little story, or you and Len were telling me a little story about his riding antics at work.
Well, I said he's a fearless rider everywhere, and he rides many strong and powerful machines. Not one of which, of course, is his 50cc little monkey bike, his step bike, which he also rides backwards and forwards to work, and quite regularly falls off of.
It's quite incredible. Yeah, the man is on all this horsepower and falls off a little 50cc machine. This is Brian Emery. This is the man up in charge of the Super Street class at the moment. Has put down an incredible 9.1 miles per hour. And we were saying a little while ago about the smoke that sometimes gets up at the top end. He's had some problems slowed right down there.
Certainly has done, and sitting up on the bike, so problems for Brian Emery. He's not going to improve his qualifying time at all, and just coasting through the finish line there. Going to have to push that bike up to the first exit to clear the track. And let's hope it's nothing too serious. It's going to stop him from racing tomorrow. Well, this is Paul Willis, the man that we said earlier on is going to be very, very busy, not only on funny bikes, but in Pro Stock he ran that tremendous 8.17, I think it was late last year. He's coming out with another new bike that really does look very nice indeed. And Wayne Saunders also with a new bike. And the S24, he's in the pit lane. At the moment, our number 2 man, Len Page, is just not from. I'm sure that Paul Willis is going to go headhunting here and looking to get into the number 1 position.
Well, a startling paint scheme on Paul Willis's new machine. That really does look superb, doesn't it? Very, very wide at the rear end, and very hard. And of course, that bodywork that just sits on there, that is just sort of a little decoy bodywork. They carry a very, very small petrol tank underneath that. It's just a fiberglass replica bodywork. There is no actual fuel tank as you would expect. Carry a small cylinder of fuel, or the fuel can be concealed within the framework of the motorcycle. But doesn't it look lovely? So you see, the thing is with these motorcycles now, they really do look very, very good indeed, don't they? They
certainly do.
What with the drivers having a good choice of leathers now, and multicoloured leathers you can buy, almost like the Grand Prix circuit that you get at Donington and Brand, etc. And our drag racing is now moving up another colourful gear. This looks really good. Anyway, here we go. This is Wayne Saunders then in the lane closest to the main grandstand. That's his dad out there. Always thought that he would direct his son in a competition auction car or a dragster, and now finds himself in charge of a motorcyclist.
The quality of workmanship on Wayne Saunders' bike is absolutely tremendous. All our Pro Stock guys have really just put a lot of time and effort into the appearance. Go and check those out. Let's wait to see the time and speed as they come through.
Well, 8.48 for Paul Willis, 150 miles per hour, puts him into number 1 spot. You're quite right, you said he'd go here hunting. But Wayne Saunders, 8.75 at 147 miles per hour, keeps him placed in number 3 position, just below Len Padgett. So it's 8.48 for the number 1 man, Paul Willis.
So Paul Willis goes to the head of 3, Len Padgett number 2, Wayne Saunders 3, Graham Dance 4, Kerry Disick 5, John Moore 6. Well, John is out there now looking to improve that qualifying time because Martin Bishop is number 7 at the moment. So John Moore settles himself down on the bike, getting ready, easing it forward into stage.
I'm just reading through John's fact sheet here that he's given us, and won 3 Euro rounds in 3 years, brackets, big deal, exclamation mark, close brackets. Only
legendary Gary Page went past the animals, and they quite often have mega bashes here over the evening. But let's see what he can do during the day, during the serious business, and John Morton on that side away from the line, through 3 lines, but not enough, 10.06, 116 miles an hour. So John Morton stays in the number 6 spot with that 10.06.
Well, here we go now. This is back to Pro Mod and Super Gas once more, and Chris Winston's got problems there. Just doing the burnout in the right-hand lane. There's a lot of fluid down on the ground, and I don't know whether that's water or gearbox or engine. So, but certainly a lot of concerned people looking at that. It's going to be left-hand lane only just for a couple of minutes, and that's Tim Adam.